there we go. Now I have it. Yeah, it works on me too.
Whoa!
Yes! It looks like we got Gina, Cynthia. Hey Gina. Hey Cynthia.
Hello.
Alright.
We have a doctor of the
Yeah, she wouldn't let me read the book. So, it looks like, guys, just so you know, the Crystal Order won't be in until the 22nd. But at least we know when they're going to be delivered. So, at least one of them will be in on the 22nd that I know of. Should be in about the 22nd. Find out.
At least we have tracking numbers now. That's a bonus. At least we have tracking numbers. Good evening. Welcome to an episode of Awakening the Unknown. Where the unknown gets awakened. You don't even know. Like, we don't know.
Well, technically, we're all A2 Network now, so.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're all A2 Network now.
It's all A2 Network.
Oh, alright.
But we're your ATU
okay.
girls.
Alright.
ATU. The Awakening the Unknown. Ha ha ha. Because just when you thought you would have a clue what they might be up to, they come and throw you a left field rocket out of nowhere.
Okay, it's safe to say that Michelle has gone bonkers.
I am a little bonkers over this. I'm telling you. I am. And I think this is going to help us so much. All of us, actually. Hi. Alright. Almost down to the wire here.
2 minutes, they can see us. And we have the doctor in the queue.
Dr. Woodard in the house. Oh. Yes, he is.
Oh, did I? Yeah, I locked every window but the hallway one. It won't lock.
Oh, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Oh, shoot. Restream. Let's see. Chat. Open. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Okay, 1 minute.
1 minute until showtime.
1 minute, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Alright. Share. Share it out. Share it out. Share it to everybody. Every group, every page, everybody. Because tonight we are...
Yeah, she's also a speed typer, so I hope you guys weren't trying to get a word in there.
Some things, anyways.
Alright, few seconds, guys. Oh, check out my new gloves.
Nice.
Check them out. Check them out. Look.
Oh, her son's in the waiting room doing a therapy session right now. Oh, wow. We're going to be helping you out quite a bit with some therapy tonight. Oh, yeah.
Your shoe will
Oh,
go live
here we
in
go.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
This is Susan Swanbeck, CEO of the ACU Network. This work is protected by Creative Commons.
For the next 2 fun-filled hours, get ready to learn something new, be inspired, enlightened, spooked, helped, laugh, cry, and be awakened. And now, your host of Awakening the Unknown. So please welcome
Susan Swanbeck.
And Michelle Sullivan. Hi, everybody. It's Mystery Guest Wednesday. And I'm so excited for tonight's guest, guys. Do you guys even know who our mystery guest is tonight?
Wow, let me tell you something. Our mystery guest is actually Dr. Frederick Woodard.
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor
Yeah.
of hypnosis, everybody.
Actually, he's a doctor of clinical hypnotherapy from the American Institute of Hypnotherapy.
Yes.
Yes,
so
he is.
Don't be
So,
scared. We're not
and
hypnotizing you
now
all
we
tonight.
like to do experiments when we
Yes.
do a show. So this time, Michelle read the book, and she can show the copy of the book.
I won't even give it up for a second because I know what she's up to.
Show them the
Oh,
copy.
yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm not showing Sue the copy of the book.
Yeah, so
But
all
I'll show everybody else
right,
the copy
show
of
the copy of the book. That's his book, and the name of the book is Perceptual Hypnosis. And we are actually going to pull the doctor on the line and find out some awesome
What a
information.
wonderful book this is.
Woohoo!
Say.
Oh,
Very,
it's gonna be
very
great.
It's a great workbook, folks.
Oh, don't forget, guys, everybody that's listening, really important. We have a bad storm hitting us somewhere around 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So if you guys on Facebook that are on our live feed lose us, I already put the link in there for the Blog Talk Radio link. Literally, just go over to the Blog Talk radio link. So make sure you copy that down. You should be able to pick it up right on your phone. You should be able to listen to this show. There is also a live chat in Blog Talk that I can open up as well. So in case you guys do want to come over there, as a matter of fact, I'll open it up now just in case. So this way, if we do lose anything, you're all set. And I just opened up the Blog Talk chat, so we can still chat just the same way you guys do on Facebook. So
Absolutely,
no
guys.
worries. All right. So
And of course, the call-in number still stays the same at
Yes, it does.
563-999-3002.
All
So if you guys
right.
can't access another way, you can call in that number and listen to the show.
right,
live.
if you press 1, it's for a question. If you don't, there'll be no question mark on my queue, and I'll know that you're just listening in, okay?
Right,
All right,
right.
so without further ado, the doctor is going to be in the house.
Doctor's in the house.
All right, now we're going to turn him up a bit.
Hello, Dr. Woodard.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm well. I heard about the weather. We're worried about. I wondered how it's going to turn out for everybody up here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in Massachusetts, right next to the ocean,
So we're kind of a little bit
Yeah.
concerned, but no, we're not over.
Yeah, no worries. We got it covered. The windows are already locked. I always have a backup, so if we do lose, it's still going to record off my phone. So tonight my phone is plugged into my board
Just for a backup.
just for
actually.
backup. So that way all I do is disconnect it from the board. We keep going. It still gets recorded. So no worries. We got this.
We so totally got this. As long as we keep you on the line, Dr. Woodard, we're good.
Oh, yeah. We're really good.
You know, so I needed to welcome you to A2 Network. I happened to have seen and heard of you going on a previous show, and we are really honored to have been able to actually book you for our own show. I've actually been hogging your book from Susan, by the way. I will not let her touch the book.
I will read it after, though.
She will read it after, but I'm not letting her read it right now because I think it is so amazingly.
One thing I can tell you about my book is that I took a long time to write that. That didn't just get written in a few days.
Oh, of course not, Dr. Woodard. That's a lot of work behind that book.
Right.
I have perused it very fondly from beginning to end,
Right.
and very much so. This was a big labor of love for you.
Huh.
Yes, it was.
Now, would you mind, before we get started, but telling us what your definition of what hypnosis is in general? For those that don't know.
Well, it's perceptional.
Right, but what is your actual...
Well, it's very funny. I kind of see hypnosis as a process of differentiation,
Uh-huh.
which means what we choose to look at.
That's right.
So if you look at your mind as having an awareness at different levels, it's where you choose to go.
Right.
A lot of people in the scientists would use the word dissociation,
Right.
but that kind of connotates something negative.
So you're
Like
talking.
you block something out.
So you're talking being very similarly to almost like a holistic counselor because there it's positivity.
It's like a
And-
mindfulness.
So basically when
power for the individual.
Now, now
Right.
I know this is going to kind of be jumping ahead, Dr. Woodard, but in hypnosis, before we get started with all the nitty gritty of everything, does the person who is under hypnosis remain under their own power and free will and everything like that? So we can get all the misnomers out of the way, okay? And you can't just sneakily be going around hypnotizing people by looking at them with their beady eyes or any of that kind of hoopla or anything like that. I just want to get the misconceptions right out of the way.
Hypnosis is like focused attention. It's a natural ability that we all have. It's our consciousness.
Wow.
It's just that we use certain techniques in hypnosis to magnify certain aspects of our awareness.
And how would you
Want to talk about the paranormal
yes.
or spiritual experiences, how do you get there?
How do you get there, Dr. Woodard?
How do some people see things other people don't?
That is so true. That is so true.
yeah, it is very true.
Because it is in the eye, like they say, in the eye of the beholder. Right?
And the thing is, some people, for example, some of the famous scientists that discovered things, everybody else thought that wasn't real.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
very true. Very true.
Like
There is a truth.
that's like you say, it is the eye of the beholder, the perception of the person that's going under hypnosis. Am I understanding that correctly, Dr. Woodard?
Well, the perception, when you're saying the eye of the beholder, that statement I worry about because it's sort of like anyone can see anything they want, but that's kind of true if you're seeing accurately.
Oh.
Some
Okay.
people see what they want to see. It's not really real.
Right.
And
And that's the difference. So that's why I use the term differentiation, because it implies you're accurately perceiving.
oh, okay.
And the thing is, we all see distorted at times, and we have to grow to go beyond that.
That's true.
Yes, we do.
Like, look, there's a diagram, and in the center I have the truth.
Yes. I'm going to show that to them.
It's all the things that interfere with us seeing the truth.
It's all the smog that surrounds us right here. I'm going to show that to everybody right now.
Yeah, I agree. Because to me, like, I'm on the outside looking in, which drives me nuts, by the way, and she knows
Well,
that.
this is why I did that for her.
Yeah,
Dr.
I don't
Woodard.
like that. I
Because
like to know everything that's
She very
going
much likes
on.
to be in control of the situation.
Yeah.
And today I tried taking
Well,
her
no,
out of
it's
her
not that.
comfort zone.
It's information. I'm a bookaholic. I read a novel
Right.
in a day, so
But see, what
me not
Dr. Wood is
reading
talking
before a
about
show is not normal for me. So
Well, like the truth is the center of it all. Correct me, please, if I'm wrong, Dr. Woodard. But in your diagram, the truth is the center of it all.
So,
Go ahead.
so I think, like, a lot of people, they, like, you want to have a past life regression.
Right.
Sometimes those things can be truthful, and sometimes they can be imaginary.
agreed.
But when they're imaginary, they still speak of the truth of that person's reality.
Oh, that's so true.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that's real. You know what I mean?
It doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate. It's just something that the person perceived as being a reality.
You have to work at to get to the truth.
See.
Okay.
And now, Dr. Woodard, the layers of the mind, the conscious mind, and this all happens in the unconscious mind?
Carl Jung defined intuition as the perception of the unconscious. That's the greater part of our mind that we don't really understand completely.
Right. That's so.
I believe that the truth is in those deeper spaces.
And your book does a lot
There's
of.
a truth always. There's a truth.
Now, do you believe it's the truth? Like you know how people say, there's always one person's story, and then that same story has 2 or 3 other variations. Is that kind of effect like that, or does the mind actually?
When I was in graduate school with my mentor, Dr. Ann Richards, she showed a video, an old video that was a perception thing, and it showed this guy with his mother, and he was living with his mother, and then he was at a taxi to work. He had a secretary, there was a boss, and they interviewed every single person, and they saw him as a different person. Everybody saw him differently.
Wow. How did they perceive him?
Well, the point of my story is, though, there was a scene where he was in his living room at home, and my professor, Dr. Richards, she asked, what was in his hands when he was in his living room? And there was 30 or 40 people in the room, and there was only 3 people that saw what he really had in his hand.
Oh, wow. What did he have in his hands?
He had a pencil, but some people saw a cigarette, some people saw nothing, other things, but the point is only 3 people saw the truth, or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, but, maybe it was a cigarette or whatever, but only 3 people saw what was really there, and everybody else saw what they wanted to see or filled it in.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that's what I mean by truth. There is a truth, but how many of us always see it?
So you're talking very similarity. It would be like a round where one person starts off a story, but by the time it actually gets around back to the original person, it's never the actual story that was told in the first place. So the perception of each individual that hears it is slightly different. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that happens, but what I'm saying is there may be somebody that could have heard it correctly.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Because again, it's
if that person said it to everybody instead of just one person, because that little chain, obviously all you need is one distortion, and then it's distorted all the way around.
Oh, yes.
That's so true. That is so amazingly true.
But if she had, or he had said that story to everybody, there might have been 1 or 2 people in that circle that heard it correctly.
Oh, I see. So
that's my goal. It's like that's the purpose of part of the purpose of my work is to see the world more accurately and to expand consciousness.
That is I find your work so amazingly commendable, honestly, because we talk about all the time about how I mention it to them all the time, and they're probably sick hearing me hearing it, but I always say about how there is 2 times a day that we're actually all able to be self-hypnotized, and I was always told that was the theta state. Am I correct in that assumption, Dr. Woodard?
It is all self-hypnosis, but the funny thing is, a lot of times what I say I do when I'm in the spiritual consciousness stage, not in the clinical stage, I say I dehypnotize people. I wake them up from false beliefs and false views.
Wow. So take us through like the beginning of a visit until the end. Take us through like a brief synopsis of what like a client would be like for you.
Well, I don't really talk about my clients, so it's more like I help someone see more accurately, so they have to do the work.
Ah.
And if they do the work, they will get the results.
So what would be your first step that you would have them go through, Dr. Woodard? What would be the first step for them?
Well, I ask people what they want to achieve, and then I help them achieve what they want to achieve.
So say, for instance, it was someone who wanted to quit smoking, just as a general. How would they go about, how would that all work?
Well, we then work on what their views are, what their views are on what the benefits of it are and what the not benefits are, and then we kind of work on that.
How do you explain to, say, for instance, clients of yours that have like strong spiritual beliefs and kind of wonder and question about hypnosis? How do you kind of talk them into getting the hypnosis that they actually need? If they have very hard, strong beliefs.
I don't know. I'm a psychologist. I'm also a psychologist, so I don't do just hypnosis. I do other work. I do therapy and things like that. So,
Out of the percentage of your case studies, though, Dr. Woodard, how many would you say percentage-wise do you deal with on a regular basis as far as hypnosis?
about 1/10 of my work is hypnosis.
Wow, that must be so frustrating, though, not to get more people to be doing hypnosis. Because I honestly think that if I had the ability to be putting people in under hypnosis, people willing actually to be under hypnosis, I probably would be doing it more often than I should be, just because I'm a very nosy person in the first
Well,
place.
no, it's to me that's not it. It's you have to be really careful when you're dealing with somebody's mind because you know me. I'm the holistic counselor of the crew, and you really need to be careful, especially with hypnotherapy. So having the psychology background and the hypnotherapy is definitely, for me, in my opinion, is a must because they go hand in hand. You have to know the inner workings of the brain in order to not in order to not go into the wrong direction for the individual. So yes, I do understand it from that perspective.
And how do you
That's true.
how do you explain to someone what differentiation is and how they can go about dealing with differentiation?
Well, I just use that as that's the way to explain how hypnosis takes place. It's like helping someone see something differently can help them achieve the goal they want to, but it has to be the way they want to see it, not the way I want to see it.
And that's the part that you help them to understand is that's what their perceived reality is that makes them okay with that situation. I'm trying to understand and make it easy
Well,
for our
like
listeners.
quit smoking, for example, people had reasons to smoke, and then they perceive falsely that the cigarettes are benefiting them in some way.
Oh, I see.
You know, and then you help them realize that they're actually hurting them.
And they're hurting themselves by doing that.
Yeah, it's I think what he's saying is, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to translate for the listeners. I think what he's saying is it's kind of very similar. It's a similarity to when we say all positive all the time. Because if you keep thinking of all the negative things that actually occurred and happened, the negativity will come back towards you. But if you are taking away the negativity and choose to believe positively that things will occur and come to you in a more positive manner, that is something that does become their new reality. But we do have a question in the chat room.
What's the question for Dr. Woodard?
Okay.
Okay. It's somebody would like to know if there is a certain percentage of people that cannot be hypnotized.
Well, that would depend. There is that saying that there are, but really it's all self-hypnosis. So if a person doesn't want to be hypnotized, they can't be.
Right.
But they're not really in control of their mind, because if they were in control of their mind, they would know how to do that.
Okay. Sorry, we have another question in the
Oh,
chat
another-
room
oh, the
before you
questions are
continue.
coming fast
Yeah,
and
the questions are
furious.
starting to come down. Another individual would like to know is if you've ever hypnotized somebody to start anything.
Like start a habit versus remove a habit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So no specification on that.
Yeah.
Just if you've
They're just giving it
Yeah.
as a general. Like, have you ever hypnotized anyone to actually start something in their life? Maybe something
So
start.
maybe eat healthier,
Yeah,
or exercise, or
Yeah.
do positive things, yes.
okay.
Now, wow. Now, is that like how much work goes into prior to you actually putting the patient under hypnosis, Dr. Woodard? Like, 'cause that seems to be like a big life. That's a life change that happens under hypnosis. Do you pretty much make sure that the patient is ready to really do that, or is it up to the patient to decide?
It's
What-
it's only certain people. People have to be ready for that. It's not something you do with everybody.
Okay.
It-
Like,
Exactly. Like certain people might ask for the help. Like when they come to us, certain people would want the help, whether it's psychologically, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Right.
When they're dealing with us, they have to actually be ready to be able to hear what it is we're trying to
Right.
guide them to. And that's
Right.
what it is. We're guiding. So he's just taking another method of guiding.
go ahead.
A lot of times, a person that can't quiet their mind has a hard time doing hypnosis because they can't shut down their thoughts to listen.
Right. Very true.
So
So
how?
that becomes a problem.
Takes practice.
Now, is that where you encourage? Do you encourage meditation?
Yes, meditation and hypnosis are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
They may even be the same space. It might just be they have different goals.
Do you think that do they come from the same part of the brain, Dr. Woodard?
I would believe so. Yes, I
Yes.
think there's people that claim that they're different, but the only difference is one is just being there, receptive, and the other is you have a goal.
Ah, okay. So, in other words, it's just kind of.
I mean, I think they're the same place.
That's pretty interesting. Because we do healing Sundays, and Sue.
Yeah, but that's
actually-
working with the chakra benefits.
Right.
And
But you do take them through meditation.
yeah, I do, but always
sometimes.
guided meditations. It's
Right.
never a free meditation because a lot of individuals don't exactly know how to do it, and I'm basically guiding them to one, either clean their chakras or two, get rid of their negativity.
So, like Dr. Woodard does, helps.
It's
take them
slightly
towards-
different. It's not hypnosis. It's strictly guided meditations.
Mm-hmm.
So they're listening to my voice and a peaceful type music. So
And what would you think would be the similarities, though, between that?
we have another question.
Sure.
Helena would like to know which hurts is the brain when it's hypnotized.
Which hurts is the brain when it's being hypnotized, Dr.
A
Woodard?
lot of good questions tonight.
I know.
Well, it's interesting because some people would say the right side of the brain, but then there's people that claim that our brain is holistic and it works all together. So it depends on which view you're holding.
So,
what would the hurts be?
is there a hurts for that, reaching that brain?
What was
The hurts.
that? Oh, that would, if it's the stages you're talking about, that would be it's usually alpha or theta.
Theta
Okay.
state, yeah.
No, she was specifically asking hertz.
Oh, I
like
mean, like,
528 hertz for 40 hertz.
Oh, like the
Yeah,
hurts
the
that do
hertz.
like brain repair, DNA repair, and
Yeah,
things like that.
certain
That's what she
things
was
like
asking
that.
about.
Like, do you take them up to certain hertz? Is what I think she meant.
Is that part of your work? The whole hurt? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be in the theta state then that they would be taking.
Right.
Be taking them. Now, there's another question in the chat room, Dr.
Yeah, there
Woodard.
is.
Brenda would like to know: is it a good idea to hypnotize somebody with mental illness or neurological problems like epilepsy? What would your consensus be on those illnesses? Mental illness or neurological?
Nobody can. Number one, when it comes to mental illness, it would have to be a psychologist that would make that decision.
Okay. Would a person with mental illness be able to be hypnotized? Is what I think her curiosity is.
There are some people it would help, and some people it might not be a good thing to do. But it's an individual basis. There are people epileptics. It might not be a good thing for that.
Right.
Okay.
That's what she was asking, the epilepsy.
Right, because actually I
Yeah.
think Brenda has a
Yes,
problem with
Yeah.
no,
that.
I don't think that's a good thing.
Right.
So not a
There's
good
certain
idea.
People that when they relax, it can have negative impact, and that's not something good for them.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Very good.
So it's really on a case by case type of situation. Then
Yeah.
is that correct, Dr. Woodard?
Yes,
Definitely case by case.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, she is asking because she is an epileptic.
Yes, Brenda is an epileptic.
Yes.
We know that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. We have another question from Helena. She wants to know which person is the hardest to hypnotize. I don't exactly understand the question, honey.
If
Which
there's-
person? You mean which type of person, or
Is there a certain type of person that's not able to be
but
hypnotized that easy?
might be the hardest? I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, Brenda, don't get hypnosis, okay? Don't
Yeah,
get
no,
hypnosis.
Brenda.
We're making sure it's not safe for you to get hypnosis.
Well, I think, like I said, one of the most difficult things is someone that can't quiet their mind. That
Right.
Their mind is thoughts are always racing.
Right.
So does that come down to children, Dr. Woodard? Like children with ADHD and ADD? Are children like?
Yeah, it's hard for those children. It is hard for those children to focus.
So does hypnosis serve as a benefit to them? If you can get them to calm their minds?
Well, there's probably other things that would be more beneficial because it would engage them and allow them to be actively doing something instead of passively doing something. That's kind of difficult for certain people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
agreed.
Absolutely. That is
Agreed.
an absolutely. Now, it's just interesting because a lot of people don't have a big understanding of what hypnosis is, and what hypnosis entails. Could you tell us how the whole process happens? Like when a patient comes into your room, do you do the what we think of them laying on the doctor's bed kind of thing with them getting hypnosis that way? Like how does that happen?
Well, when I work with someone in hypnosis, I usually have them sit in a recliner and I relax them down and we slowly work on that to make sure it's okay for them.
Helena also has another question.
Sure.
Everybody's full of questions here tonight. I love that. So, and we haven't even got to the nitty gritty of the book there. Like I said, I'm still out in left field here. Have you get a job from the police to hypnotize anyone? I think she means, have you gotten a job from the police to hypnotize anyone?
Yes. If the police has ever required your services to hypnotize anybody for them.
I think that's what
for maybe
means.
Evidence, perhaps.
I'm a clinical. I have a private practice, so I work with my clients.
Okay.
I don't do forensic work.
Oh, so our ladies already in the chat room are already telling you you need to get a job in forensics. You need to do all this kind of stuff. Our people are just wonderful. The questions that they come up with is great. Now, a hypnosis session, is this something that goes on over time, or is it a one-time deal?
That's what Brenda asked in the chat room. Yeah.
Okay, because Brenda's asking, how long does a hypnosis last? And do you have to go every 6 months or every year like a physical?
A lot of times what I do is I work with somebody, I will do a session and we'll record it so they can practice it, because there is a need sometimes to practice. You create your habits over a long period of time and they just don't go away instantly.
No, agreed. And that's why even with whether it's psychology or hypnotherapy or counseling, either way, it takes more than one session in order to assist anybody, in order to become the better part of themselves. So yes, I agree with that.
Now, how do you make people aware of what they need to start dehypnotizing themselves about?
Well, I don't make those decisions. My clients do. What they would come for is what I give them. What they need is what I offer them. I don't tell them what they need. They tell me.
Oh, I see. So they pretty much tell you, I'm looking for closure in such and such a situation. I'm looking to learn how to lose weight. I'm looking to learn how to there's so many things I can say, but how. My question is because I remember there was a really interesting reference that you made in the book about the dark night of the soul. Just that phrase alone piques, I know, how many of our listeners' interests. But what is that reference being referred to? The dark night of the soul. What does that mean in reference to?
That's the whole process of growing spiritually and realizing that what you think you knew isn't really quite the way it is. And then your world kind of falls apart, and then you start to grow, and you take on new awareness.
Awareness is like what?
Part of the process, you think you're lost.
And that's a natural thing for them to feel during that episode?
That happens to people that spiritually grow tremendously sometimes. That's not necessarily a therapy thing. That's more like a process of growth.
Like ascending, so to speak.
As people grow, as people change and grow. I mean, it happens to many people. A lot of times their dreams symbolize it too.
So you pretty much get a big psychological picture ahead of time about what's going on with these people. Like, for instance, I was one of those children that had bad nightmares as a child. And I remember my parents taking me to someone as a child to help me get over my nightmares. As a child, now, as an adult, I don't remember, but I do know it was some sort of form of hypnosis. Is that something that sounds like it could be a possibility? Because I had a really bad time with nightmares. Is that something that hypnosis helps children with?
Well, you kind of unpack those. I'd say therapy would be better for that, to understand the meaning of your dreams.
Right.
Your dreams are like trying to help process the problem.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. Because at night we are more open and freely in order to work through things. So sometimes one's person
our
reality
mind is
isn't
trying to
another.
work
Yeah.
through it. We
Yep.
don't always understand it.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, that's so difficult too. So it's a part of ourselves that we don't even think that we know yet. I think as a child, like we're growing older, we don't even know yet what we want and what we are, but we keep going on. So it's, how do we start changing the perceptions that our kids have of things that they're not right for themselves? How do we start bringing up our kids in a better way so we're not freaking them out about hypnosis? I know it sounds like a weird question.
Hypnosis isn't really what everybody talks about. It's just expanding your awareness and taking control of your mind. It's actually teaching you to take control of your own mind. It's the opposite of what other people say. It's not controlling somebody. It's helping someone control themselves. There's a book by Richard Bach called Delusions, the Reluctant Messiah, and he says better hypnotist than Messiah. Because in the book he demonstrates how Jesus wanted people to awaken, but they just wanted to follow.
Oh,
And
that's
a
right.
real good hypnotist doesn't control somebody, it teaches someone how to take control of their own mind.
Oh. See, that's so different than what people's perceptions are of hypnosis.
Yeah, I'm giggling right now because poor Brenda, one of our regulars, she has a broken pinky and she's not left-handed, she's right-handed, so she's trying to type the questions left-handed, which is a challenge for her and herself. She's so funny. She didn't spell that one
What's
right.
great about that is you know what's great about that? There was a book about using your opposite hand and coordinating your two sides of your brains to work together, and it's actually supposed to be a pretty good thing.
Actually, I think I read that.
That's interesting.
I'm kind of a bookaholic, so I think I read that one.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
though.
it really is. I mean, I tried. There are some things I can be ambidextrous with,
Yes.
and some things I can't. So, she didn't spell that right. Oh, what she wanted to know, Brenda wanted to know if trauma and hypnosis and counseling all go hand in hand. In other words, would it require all of them in order to help somebody with a trauma?
Well, you don't always need hypnosis to handle a trauma. You can
Right.
do that with therapy. Hypnosis can help, but it's not always, every case is not necessarily for hypnosis. But trauma can be handled by hypnosis and by therapy. But a hypnotist really can't do trauma. That requires a psychologist.
Yes.
Oh.
Or a therapist.
Yes.
A clinical, a licensed counselor or social worker, someone with mental health training.
Yes.
So we don't just let anybody run amok doing hypnosis on people.
No. No.
That would be a bad idea if that was coming from me, that's for
I
sure.
guess a hypnotist could do it, but they'd have to be working closely with a mental health professional.
To not make sure that they're not touching all the wrong buttons. when
Yeah,
you get
because
the
you
person
really
under.
need to be really careful when it comes to hypnotherapy. It's something that I've never really gotten into. Just the degree in psychology and then the holistic psychology, only because to me, it was a better way of understanding people to get more positive. But yeah, hypnotherapy, it's not in my repertoire.
Not in your repertoire. It's just so fascinating too, because I always wonder how much of your brain and all of its thoughts are actually exposed when you're under hypnosis. Is it something where you pretty much can ask anything throughout the person's birth to their age, then they'll remember it? How does that work? How does your brain work in that manner? When you
Well, that's the interesting thing. That's what I mean by the process of going into different levels of awareness. Is that even under hypnosis, there's still some people can remember some things and some people can't. And then there's a process of fantasy for a while until the person can actually remember. So it's like working toward the truth. It's not easy. It's like some people think it is, but it's real truth. Some people can remember, and when they do remember, I remember a case on the news where they hypnotized this woman, and she remembered being down south in a certain a house where they were helping the slaves escape to the north, and there were guns and money buried under the house.
Wow.
They went to that location, and there were guns and money buried under the house.
Wow.
Wow. So
So that's truth. That's truth. But somebody could fantasize all that, and it's not truth. You know.
But that one was
Yeah,
true.
very true. Like another example, just trying to help people in the chat room understand this, because I think I'm starting to understand it. Like if an individual
The
keeps...
other thing too is
Sorry, go ahead.
another thing with that is that, like the parapsychologist would say, how did you get that information? It doesn't automatically mean that she was the person. She could have been communicating
With the spirit.
With time. Some people say that time goes on all the time, so you could tap the timeline. Or she was communicating with someone that did know and she didn't.
Right. Because I
Other
mean,
possibilities for how the information was achieved.
and in your definition of perceptual hypnosis, the part that I didn't want to tell Susan until now actually was the part that you perceive that these people are having these perceptions of faith, of spirituality, of growth, of awareness, of possibilities of believing in aliens, of 12 other dimensions, of Sasquatch, of other types of realities. You don't discount those realities. You can count them as
Right.
the fact that they're perceived realities for people who are going through the hypnosis. Is that right?
Right. A lot of the time, a lot of my work, not all of my work, but a lot of my work is looking at the psychological meaning of it and not just dismissing it. But at the same time, I have to rule out psychosis.
Right. Right. So, have you had
There are
anybody?
occasionally people that are psychotic.
And now, if those same people told you they saw a ghost, would you believe them? Or what would hypnosis show in that manner?
Well, the thing I look for is the psychological meaning behind that. So when people tell the stories and they're stable people, they seem to have very similar meanings, and that's what I look to unpack. I published an article that was a large number of pages. Let me see if it was, I think, page 73 all the way to page 132, and it was my research on the psychological meaning of about 40 people's spiritual experiences.
Right. It's fascinating.
And I tried to pull out the themes that were psychological in it and, understand those people's experience.
Unbelievable. So that's what the part that I didn't want to let Sue to read was about the case studies that you do show in the book, because I mean it's amazing how you do fix on those themes of the different people's perceptions. It's amazing how themes actually evolve from people's hypnosis. It's amazing.
Right. My article that I published that I'm talking about, I read a book by this guy who was a World War II veteran pilot, and it was a pilot's book, and it had all these unusual paranormal experiences in it, and I was kind of happy because I saw all my themes in his book.
Wow, that's incredible.
He didn't unpack them. He just told the stories. But I could see that they were clearly there. The vividness, unexpected and contrary to one's belief, things like, loss of time and space, things like that. So that's what I try to focus on, is understanding what's really happening to that person.
Right. What they're perceiving
And
is
how
happening.
can we expand our awareness?
So, and how would, I love the chapter about hypnotic knowledge as protection. Because our people are really big into whole psychic protections and different types of modes of protection. Now, it's an interesting concept to assume that hypnotic knowledge also serves as protection. What can you tell our listeners about that, Dr. Woodard?
Well, it's like using the ancient spiritual exercises. The funny thing is, none of this knowledge is new. It's been around forever. It's the putting the light around you to protect yourself. It's the idea of, is there telepathy? Can people, contact you or see you from a distance or understand your mind? Protecting yourself, and even if it wasn't true, sometimes just feeling like you're more protected makes you feel better.
In the mind, yes, absolutely.
But I tend to believe that, you know, those protective exercises are sometimes necessary. Even like I was talking about spiritual vampires and how people actually enjoy upsetting somebody, and you can almost see their satisfaction. And if you can learn not to let that happen to you, not to let them impact you, they tend to have to find a new source.
Oh my God, that's so true. That is so true. And they have no choice. If you don't see it their way, it's not going to be seen their way. So it doesn't hold any
If
weight
you don't
to
get
it.
upset, if you truly, genuinely inside feel calm and comfortable and okay, they don't get any benefit from that.
They don't get any power over you.
Right. Well, they also don't get to take any energy because you're not dysregulated. You're not upset.
So that's amazing. That is so amazing because it's true. It's like
And
what
then,
we tell.
you know, the other thing is that ancient writers all through history have talked about how sometimes they think that the ideas that came from them came from somewhere else. And that again talks about an exchange.
Right. That's true. So how does that get
You know,
explained?
So to be open to the good and to block the negative. That's the key. It's not to protect yourself from everything, to be open to good and growth and positive, but to block the negative and the things that are harmful to you. Just like we do in life with our friends and people we interact with. We try to interact with positive people and keep negative people at bay.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. That's one of our biggest messages here at the network, Dr. Woodard, is about the positivity and teaching our people and our listeners to let the negativity go to the wayside and not let them deeply affect their lives. So that's why I thought you would be such an amazing addition to our network because you have that same belief of the positivity.
I believe like the holistic approach. You got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your emotions. You got to take care of your mind, and you got to take care of your spirit.
And all of them have to
And
be.
nurture all of them.
Wow. That's what we said. That's the message that we give everybody all the time. I almost feel like we're saying it until we're blue in our face sometimes. But
That's a wonderful thing.
and it's something that helps to have somebody to remind you of those things too, because sometimes we do fall towards the negative sometimes. So how do we bring that back if we're kind of straying towards the negative? How do you shield yourself from negative influence from other people, Dr. Woodard?
Well, you have to focus on the positive, like you're saying. You know, you have to see that those things aren't good for you.
Like, so but how would we show somebody that? Like, I know that it's a lot of freedom of thought, and we can't make anybody think something that we don't want them to think. They have to think it for themselves. So I understand that. But how do we get people to recognize negative when they don't even realize that there is a negative? How does that happen?
Well, some people have to. You can only help a person when they're ready for it.
Exactly.
And when you begin to realize something doesn't help you, you might have to experience it first.
That's true. That's true. Some people do learn by living the lesson. That's true.
Yeah, it's like some people do have to hit that brick wall in order for it to happen. But we do have a question in the chat room. Brenda would like to know if you ever run into a story that's been extremely unbelievable until you've gotten into the hypnosis part of it.
That's interesting. I've had different aspects of different things that would be something I wouldn't even think about until, for example, I was hypnotizing someone that was talking about having been abducted by aliens, and so I asked her to step back and look at the picture from a bigger view, and I never thought of this, but she said, they won't let me.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
And I thought, wow, that's an interesting perspective. Like maybe, you know, so it's sometimes, things you don't think of come up when you're with people. There's a lot of things that that are pretty fascinating about when people tell their stories. And
What's one of your most
and makes you
fascinating
think about
ones?
different things.
What's one of your more fascinating cases, Dr. Woodard?
Well, right now I'm working on a book with all my actual experiences, so I'm waiting to hear. It's my next book, and it's called The Soul of Perceiving, and it's got a lot of cases that I've researched over the years.
Mm-hmm. Any one of them stick out there?
Put into the,
Which any of them actually like
so I'm kind
chill?
of waiting on that.
Did you ever get a really chilling one, like chill to your bones, kind of scary?
Ooh,
I've
sorry.
worked with people that have had really bad experiences in life and things that happened. Yes.
Yeah, I think those are the hardest ones to deal with, especially if your heart is going out to the individual.
Do you get a lot of people with
Yeah.
paranormal questions? Do they question certain paranormal aspects?
I have periodically.
And what are those people's situations like?
Well, they're the things I talk about, like how somebody has an experience that they didn't expect that to happen. That's not the way they were told things were supposed to be.
Right, right.
And a lot of the really genuine people, they don't even want to share it with anyone. They share it with me, knowing that I'm going to protect their identity, and that they you know, and they're really genuinely, concerned about how they could how this could happen.
That almost seems to get me a lot of times with somebody who newly experiences a paranormal event, is that they have that whole sense of disbelief. Like they can't, they may have experienced it, but they still just somehow with their mind just doesn't want to believe it or wrap their heads around it. I just kind of feel...
Well, that's that whole dark night of the soul kind of thing. That's where someone's world opens up bigger. And I can relate to that because when I was really young, I didn't have an awareness of things that were more expanded. And then as time went on, through experiences, I realized there was more than I had been taught.
Wow. So is that where your research began?
Yes, my research began with a number of things like that, and a lot of people that, experiences I had with people, and people shared with me, made me realize there's something more going on, and I wanted to understand how that could be.
And
I didn't want to just dismiss it or ignore it.
Your book is amazing. I love the fact of how you explain the hypnotic phenomenon in perceptual theory. That's chapter 6. And now it talks about, it says here in the book, I'm going to quote, it says, while being hypnotized by a trained professional, you can experience, I'm just reading this out loud for our listeners, Dr. Woodard, time distortion, age regression, pseudo-orientation in time, amnesia, hyperamnesia, paramnesia, and cryptomnesia, positive hallucinations, negative hallucinations, analgesia and anesthesia, post-hypnotic suggestions, catalepsy, subconscious manifestations, and somnambulism. Those are all different things you can experience as low levels of awareness in your own daily life. Is that correct, Dr. Woodard? Did I miss anything?
Yes, some of those are very difficult to reach, but yes.
Does that come now in explaining that? Is that where the time distortion comes in? How do you explain that?
Well, it's like if you ever meditated, even meditating, and you got deep enough, you kind of lose track of time. It's an artist would do that while they're painting.
Right. They just fall into that almost like hypnotic mode of painting that they're just so synonymous with everything else, you think? Breathing, everything?
They're all experiences that we experience in everyday life.
How about the amnesia? So that's where the amnesia comes from, with the loss of time and not remembering?
Yes, but that also happens in everyday life. People have experiences and they forget about them.
And then, is that amnesia, or is that one of the other amnesias? one of the other amnesias.
Well, that's amnesia. It's like I remember watching a movie, and there was an example of a woman that had experienced a poltergeist. And at the very end of the movie, after she saw all these doctors and psychologists and all these people, and nobody really fixed it. She went back to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in the living room, and the room started going crazy, and her best friend ran in and hugged her and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you." And her husband came in and said, "Well, look what you did."
Oh my goodness. Really?
So it was two totally different views.
And wow, that's kind of like, I don't know, I'd be kind of being upset with the husband saying something like that. That's a little bit, yeah.
Well, it's like perception is, it's not just hypnosis, it's in everyday life.
And so whose perception was at question in that? Was it the husband's, hers, or the friend's?
What was that?
Whose perception was the correct perception at that time? Hers, the friend's, or the husband's?
Well, I guess that would depend on what view you take in the situation.
See, I kind of take a really crooked view, so I take a really crooked view, Dr. Woodard. But I'm really trying to like kind of cram in your book in literally just 2 hours span here. There's just so much to go through in the book, and there's so many amazing. I think you relate so much to day-to-day life that people would be surprised to even find some of the concepts as being concepts of perceptual hypnosis. Like you talk about positive hallucinations. Is that like what we tell people to manifest and to imagine things good in their life and certain things that have been accomplished? Is that what we would consider as positive?
Well, a positive hallucination would be imagining somebody within your room that isn't there, and a negative hallucination would be removing something. So yes, it could be like The Secret. You're trying to create something, so you picture it.
Mm-hmm.
And but the reason they're hallucinations is they're not real people. It's like it's not a real entity or anything. It's your imagination.
When you're thinking about it as a positive hallucination?
A positive hallucination would be creating someone that's not there, seeing them as if they are there. Where a negative hallucination is someone's there and you don't see them.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, Brenda has a question in the chat room, Dr. Woodard. She's wondering, has there ever been a story that you did not believe until
I already
you
asked them that.
Oh, you did until somebody was put under hypnosis?
Yep.
Okay. Because it is real to them. Yes, that the perceptual hypnosis is pretty much basic to the basic core of it is saying is to perceived persons. Oh my goodness, that's not even the word right. The perception of the person that is being put under hypnosis. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I had perceptual hypnosis correctly. So now, how does analgesia and anesthesia work? Is that when somebody has, like, say, they were a child and they went through some really traumatic experience, so later on in life they can't even process a certain situation?
That's more, no, anesthesia and now those are more about removing pain or feeling more.
And would that, like, what would be an example of that you could give us, Dr. Woodard?
Well, a real life example I can use, like I tell people all the time, these are things that happen in everyday life. I remember when I was a little boy and I was playing and I cut my knee, but I didn't know it. And a little girl came up to me and said, "Your knee's bleeding," and I looked at my knee and then it hurt.
Oh, okay.
It
Ah.
hurt when I didn't see it.
Until, yeah, that's right. That's true. So that's even
So
for...
that's kind of like, the thing is with hypnosis, sometimes it's helping people like find ways to manage their pain so that chronic pain that doesn't go away is like for a little while you can put it away for a little while. Not permanently though, but just to kind of get a break from it, to focus on something else. Or I had a person tell me once they had a headache and they were watching their favorite TV show and the headache went away. And then when the TV show was over, it came back.
So that is a form of hypnotic anesthesia? Is that what that is?
That's a form of getting rid of pain or the other thing is to like heighten your senses.
Oh, really? So to heighten your senses as like your sense of
But the
smell.
point is, those are things that can be done consciously, or they can be done under hypnosis sometimes. But those aren't easy things to achieve. They take practice.
Practice and I would assume a lot of like practice, like you would practice meditation. You would need to practice all the different things you've been taught in hypnosis as well, right? So I've always had a.
You can do these things.
So when you ask somebody, a patient comes to you, what would be now you say, what's the next things that you need to do? What would be your suggestions from here that you would ask them that they needed to do for you?
I don't know. I do what my clients ask me to do. So
Oh, because my question is, I have a scary thought about when people say post hypnotic suggestion, and a lot of people go, oh my God, post hypnotic suggestions. I went to a hypnotist, now I quack like a duck, and you know, things like that. How do you explain the post hypnotic suggestions and the fact that they actually can be beneficial to people? Because I know they are beneficial to people. Post hypnotic suggestions.
well, it's just remembering what you worked on in the session that is helpful for you. So if it's like to not focus on food or something, you just say that, you know, you just remember that you're going to do that, and it kind of happens.
It just happens automatically? Because your body, is it like a programming of
It's
your
your
body?
awareness. It's within your awareness. You can't do anything to anyone that they don't want to achieve, and it's, you know, you have to work. I use those things to like remind a person to not smoke or to focus on something else when they have the urge to smoke or something like that. That's the only way I use those things.
So it's not like that scary thing that people think automatically someone's gonna say some sort of thing, and next thing you know you're gonna be trying to assassinate the president or anything like that.
No, that doesn't happen. No.
Brenda, did you want to read what Brenda's question was too? How many years does it take to get educated to become a hypnotist? How many years? What was your path like?
Well, it depends on how you get trained.
So what was your path like, Dr. Wood, and how you became a hypnotist?
I went and I got trained out in California, and I had to do a week of training and some demonstrations and etc. And I did a whole program, but that was just hypnosis, and I didn't see that as adequate. And I went and got psychological training. Became a psychologist and got the psychologist training of hypnosis, which was even more extensive with the Milton Erickson Institute in Phoenix and things like that. I didn't feel like just being a hypnotist was, I think that being a hypnotist is okay, but you have to know your limitations.
Mm-hmm. So when you started this whole venture, Dr. Wood, did you think this is where you would end up? Like becoming an actual hypnotist? Was your ultimate goal? Or you were to be a psychologist or psychotherapist?
Well, I think it was just my wanting to grow. Yeah, it was part of the process of consciousness, and I saw it as one of the things. I know how to meditate. I know how to do hypnosis. I like to add tools to my background.
So do you do a lot of teaching your patients, like self-meditating?
Yes, a lot of things that are helpful to them, even relaxing. It can be very powerful.
Could you, like what, Dr. Wood? Could you tell some of our listeners that? Could you tell us about that?
What do you mean?
Like what kind of relaxation techniques in your arsenal would be beneficial?
Well, relaxing, just relaxing sometimes can take a lot of stress out of a person's body and allow their body to function better. And that tension, removing that tension, that whole holistic thing I was talking about. Taking care of your body, exercising, relaxing, eating right, sleeping right, all that stuff is important.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to it's the top of the hour. We're going to get ready to go on a break.
We got a short break.
Yeah,
Dr.
we got a
Woodard.
short break. We're going to be right back. So Dr. Woodward, just stay tuned. We'll be right back. And guys, we're going to be right back with the doctor here.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back
Okay,
after this
doctor's
break.
still in the house, and there goes the dog with my mouse. Okay.
All right.
So we're going to be right back, guys.
Hang tight on Twitter.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, people. We are back. Did you miss us?
Did you miss
miss us?
We went and had our potty break, and we went and had our little nicotine fix, and we had some, a little bit of time for ourselves. We're hoping that you guys did too. We are back with Dr. Frederick Woodard, doctor of hypnosis, as well as other things as well, of course. We're talking to him about his newest book called Perceptual Hypnosis, which is a spiritual journey towards expanding your awareness. Awareness beyond yourselves, guys. It's about perceiving how you relate to the universe, not just to yourself.
Exactly. Remember, guys, we talk about this all the time. Perception it really is the key. It's how you look at things. Everything. It's the maintaining the positivity and stuff. But welcome back.
Hello, Dr. Woodard. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you.
We actually have a very...
An interesting thing about perception is that it's not just with your eyes. It's all the ways you take in information.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
people just see it as a visual thing.
No, it's body, mind, and spirit.
All the ways.
Mental...
Right.
The ways that information comes in.
Yep, body, mind, and spirit, and they all have to be connected in order for everybody to perceive anything correctly.
It's wonderful that you're not so just clinically minded, though, Dr. Woodard. It's wonderful that you take into account all of these different, methods of awareness that people go through without having people remaining so clinical about their care. You actually get to see the whole person as a whole, the way that you're doing this.
Right.
I believe. I think you're seeing the human being as a whole.
There are people that are open to that, and there have been throughout history in psychology, and they're not many, but they're getting to be more than there used to be. But there's always been great minds like Carl Jung and William James and some of the modern guys. There's Stanley Krippner and Charles Tart. There's a bunch of psychologists and people that are really open to these ideas.
And it's actuality for people that don't know. This is not a newfangled idea. I mean...
No, I mean, I have to agree with you, because when I first went to college and I started with psychiatry, and it was something that I was going to finish, but I started to lean more towards the holistic field. So after I graduated with psychology, I went into holistic counseling. So I went and I got a doctorate in that, and that took a while because there was like pieces missing. Like with you, when you started off with just the hypnotherapy, you thought there were pieces missing. So I can understand that concept of it. I really can. Now, how many people do you feel...
I still...
Sorry, go ahead.
What was that?
How many people do you
It's like, I don't think, I think hypnotists are... I don't see anything wrong with a person being a hypnotist. It's
right.
Just knowing... Everybody needs to know what they're capable of doing and what's okay and what's not okay, and for themselves, and I think there's people that are empowering and there are people that aren't empowering, but I don't see anything wrong with someone helping someone quit smoking or something, but not taking care of a psychosis.
Right. That would be really bad.
without the proper training.
Exactly, and that's exactly it. A lot of people do require the proper training, which actually brings up the next topic I wanted to talk to you about, and that's guided meditation. Now, there are some individuals who do take people on meditation, but aren't actually performing it correctly. So I was curious about your method of meditation.
I don't have any specific. People go down into relaxing. My meditation, I see my hypnosis as a form of meditation. It's kind of a meditation hypnosis.
Okay.
But I've had lots of exposure to many different things, and I try to use the basic stuff that's good for people. I don't perform any specific methodology.
Huh.
So you take them, because I know in the back of the book he's got like amazing guided meditations like you do, Sue.
Right.
And you take people through different types of scenarios, and I noticed that, I don't know if it was meant to be that way, but I noticed that there were different levels in your meditation, in your guided meditations in your book. I noticed that some brought you into deeper places than others didn't. Was that meant? That was a meant to be kind of thing?
What was that?
Was that kind of what it was meant to be, kind of thing? Because some of them I found that took people interestingly so deeper than others. And now is that kind of like baby steps for somebody who's new to meditation?
I think people go where they need to, yes.
How do they know where they need to
They
go
need
though?
other things.
How do they figure
was
out? How do they figure out how far they do need to go though? How do they figure that out?
I think people grow on their own. You know, nobody goes too far or not far enough. I mean, there's kind of, I think most people are able to like take what they need and go just far enough.
And we know, and there's like, is there an innate human thing that says, okay, we've gone far enough, or is just pretty much just
I don't know.
preference?
I mean, everybody I've worked with and every place I've been to a lot of places. I did some Native American work with out in California, and I used to go to the sweats and things like that. And people don't go farther than they're able to go.
Is there a way to, if we wanted
There's
to?
always someone there to help people to keep them in a safe place, you know.
Right, that's true. That's true, because we all kind of look out for each other when it comes to something like that. That is so true. Because I mean, I'm always so fascinated about it because Sue does the meditations, the guided meditations, but I'm not the big one on the meditation. I'm the one I'm more familiar to mindfulness more than the actual going into the meditations. So I find it fascinating, but I'm still afraid to get taken down that meditation that would make, I almost feel like, would I be going too deep for myself? And how do I know how deep I should go? So I kind of steer away from that, whereas Sue knows what she's doing. She knows what she's got going on. She knows how to do everything. But I feel myself personally, I can handle mindfulness. I don't know if I can handle meditation. Does that make sense? Is that like...
Mindfulness is a form of meditation. It's an Eastern tradition that was taken here and popularized. But really, mindfulness is just being totally absorbed in whatever you're doing, completely. It's a form of meditation.
Because that I can do. I love to sit at the ocean and go into the the position, and I love to I can go into my own world just by listening to the ocean and feeling the sand and smelling the ocean, and where we are, we have traffic, so there's traffic behind us.
I remember when I was going to school at the University of West Georgia, which is in Carrollton, Georgia. And Raymond Moody taught there before I was there, and there was a guy, Bill Roll, that was a poltergeist expert that taught there, that my mentor, Dr. Ann Richards, was there. There was a bunch of really wonderful people there, and I did this research project on precognitive dreams, and I remember a story of a woman that was a housewife in England, and she had a dream, and she had a vision during a meditation of an invasion during the Olympics in Israel. And
wow.
She sent a letter to Golden Meir. This was in a professional journal.
Uh-huh.
And the United States and Israel planted themselves near the spot where they figured it out. And sure enough, there was an attempt.
Wow. So you very much do believe then in psychic abilities.
There was a famous case that was published. And that was, she had no connection to anybody.
Wow. So then psychic ability is something you accept then, Dr. Woodard? Psychic ability?
What was that?
Do you, like in your frame of work, do you accept psychic ability? Mediumship, channeling?
I believe that there are people that have the ability to tap into things. Yes, I do. Do I think everybody that says they do? No, not necessarily, but I think that there are examples in life where they've been proven to be very accurate.
So, and now someone comes to you, say, with like a Catholic upbringing. How would you explain hypnosis to them with a very strict Catholic upbringing?
Well, the Catholic Church approved of hypnosis in 1958.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
As did the American Medical Association.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay. So then...
So
We're both like, so. So, in other words, then, okay. Go ahead, Dr. Woodard. Dr. Woodard?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just forgot what was the last question I just asked.
I don't know, but Brenda in the chat room wants to know if anything paranormal has ever happened to you. We have a lot of parapeeps that come and go.
Yeah. Anything paranormal that you have experienced personally, Dr. Woodard?
I've had some synchronistic events happen in my life that were very personal, and it's very hard to imagine the chances of something like that happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you believe synchronicity is a real thing too.
An example of synchronicity was Carl Jung was sitting in his office, and a picture fell off of his bookcase and cracked, and he wrote down the exact time of that picture fell, and the person in the picture died at that exact moment.
Oh my goodness! Wow. So then the medical.
That was an.
So the medical society then, or the psychology today, does accept that these principles are real things, like synchronicity.
Not everyone. I think it's more of an individuality.
The branch of parapsychology
Yep.
studies it. Yes. And
Yes.
They have had cases where they have examples like that of things that have taken place that have been verified. And Stanley Krippner is a psychologist who did a study with telepathy back in, I don't know, the 70s maybe, where they had a whole concert. I forgot who it was that did that. There was a concert, and they chanted a certain image or a certain statement, and he had people trying to, in a room, meditating, and it was significant. The results were significant.
That's so fascinating, because with all this becoming a known fact, that no wonder paranormal science is becoming way more mainstream than these days. Because it used to be back in the day where hypnosis was not as mainstream as it is now, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there's been scientists that have studied this stuff all through the years, and there's books written and ideas that have been and cases that have been mentioned, throughout time. It's just that a lot of people don't realize that.
So is that where the external influences come to play? Like media, social media?
Where some people, they're afraid or, scared about it or something. But I mean, I've read about so many people that aren't even alive anymore that used to study those things. And Abraham Maslow, the guy with the hierarchy of needs, he also talked about aha experiences and moments where we might see something that's only a glimpse of something greater.
Wow. That's so fascinating. It's amazing that, I am actually excited that the fact that you actually exist, Dr. Woodard, that you're a person that does concur with these types of situations. You're not treating like your patients like they're nuts because they may have not thought that they've run into Bigfoot out in the woods somewhere. You're literally expanding people's minds about hypnosis, because I believe personally a lot of those things were things that people are fearful to talk to medical personnel about. Automatically people think doctors, medical, not to tell them everything, not to tell them the truth. They're going to think you're crazy. They're going to put you away. Automatically, in the past, people used to automatically assume those things. I find it amazing that you exist and you actually are coherently explaining and talking about subjects that were literally considered taboo before for psychology. Synchronicity used to be considered taboo.
Yeah, well, there's like I said, I'm far from the leader in the. There's some very famous psychologists that have studied this stuff. John Mack was an MD that studied at Harvard, and he was investigating abductions, similar to the way I do paranormal experiences, and he wrote a number of books and on that, and he had reputable people.
Wow, that's
and he
so
even
awesome.
Psychologically tested people to make sure they weren't psychotic, etc. And his work was approved by the Harvard University.
Awesome. See, you go, man. That's awesome. So,
There are people. There's a number of people that have done some fascinating work.
Well, we're gonna literally gonna have to send us some of those so we can get those books out there for our people that are really interested in. Because Brenda in our chat room actually made a statement that she's very glad that you can see that these things can really happen and that people are not crazy, because there is a lot of people out there that can actually that these actual strange occurrences can happen to them. So they are strange but true and real.
Yeah.
My new book that I'm working on, it shows. I don't want to bring up the cases yet because I'm one of those people. I've got to have it published first. But
Okay.
it shows a lot of the cases of what people said and then a real life event that validated it.
Wow. That's amazing. So do you believe in angel numbers also? Do you believe in the synchronicity of angel numbers?
What was that? I didn't hear the last. Angel numbers?
Yes, those synchronistic numbers that they say, like the 111, the 555, like the synchronistic numbers. Do you believe that they could have some?
I think those kind of things. I think that when we put meaning on stuff, it's then able to be used to send us a message. But I don't always know the source of those things, and I think that sometimes those things can be very, very powerful. I know that the Native American aspect in me, my ancestors way back, that sometimes they were warned by animals, and animals will give you messages. I had animals give me messages. Animals will give you messages, but you have to have a meaning for them. You can't just assume you know.
Exactly. What tribe are you from?
One of my great grandfathers was Chief Metacowanda.
Ah.
From the Penobscot and the other. There's a bunch of names. He was my grandfather. He was a shaman. He was a great leader in 1699.
And that's what, isn't that like Maine or New Hampshire?
Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Hopi Indian.
It was Maine, up in Maine, and up farther. He was up there, and his daughter married one of my French Baron grandfathers.
Yeah. I know who he's talking about exactly.
Wow.
I've done a lot of research on that, and a particular case I was looking into way before we started this. But yeah, I'm Hopi Indian, so I do a lot of that as well.
The part is, like, I remember one time I was working with somebody and we were trying to find out about my Native American background. Before I even knew all those details, my grandmother remembered that there was a Native American princess in the family, but she didn't have any details.
Oh.
It took me 15 years to find it.
Wow.
It took me 15 years to find the church record. And if it wasn't for the church, there would have been no record. And
wow.
Anyway, I was hypnotized, and I saw these two otters playing in a river. And this is the kind of synchronistic stuff that maybe that question a while back was.
Uh-huh.
And I saw two otters as real in my mind as a dream playing in a river.
Oh, wow.
And then a couple of years later, I found out that an otter was my birth sign in Native American.
Oh my God! Really? That is so awesome. Who?
So yeah, you don't always know what it means right away. You don't always know what something means, and once in a while, if I had known that first and then I saw the otters, I would have said I made it up.
Right, but
I
then
didn't know anything about that.
Right.
that is awesome. That makes my hair stand up on my arms when I hear something like that. But so, who was the princess? Did you find out who the princess was after all that research?
The daughter of Chief Metacowanda.
So, and she becomes your, is it great aunt or great?
She was my grandmother.
Grandmother. Oh, wow.
She was my grandmother.
Wow.
He was my grandfather. That was his daughter. She was my grandmother, and she married my grandfather, who is Vincent D. St. Casson. But that's way back, and I've met my ancestors. I've gone with my cousin Tim Shea, and he's done some spiritual. He does spiritual stuff up in Maine, and he's a wonderful guy. And I met him, and I thought how wonderful it was that I was able to sit and share a ceremony with him.
Oh.
300 years later, two of his grandchildren came together.
Oh,
Very
my
nice.
God, that is amazing.
Very nice.
So, are you interested in some of your shamanistic backgrounds? Are you kind of into the whole shamanistic background that your family comes from? Are you shaman that we don't know about?
I life, and I think what I'm doing is good. I'm helping people, and I like to help people, and I like to see people succeed, and I do my own thing.
Right. But it's so fascinating though, because I feel like you're a breath of fresh air. I know where we are in Massachusetts. We're very close to Boston, Mass, Boston has like the best doctors in the world. They're known for their medical care. So around here, there's almost like a stigma of when you go to someone who does hypnosis that I don't know if it's because of my Portuguese upbringing.
It's
or
probably you, because I didn't have that issue.
That's not necessarily like. There's an awesome doctor out of Harvard University, Dr. Daniel Brown. He's a fantastic psychologist, and he does hypnosis. He's written books on hypnosis.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to have to look that up, because it's probably due to my family, because we come from the island of Azores, Small Island.
He's not into the paranormal or any of that, but he's a clinical guy that does hypnosis out of Harvard, and he's a pretty outstanding individual.
So if you had a choice between hypnosis and paranormal, but only hypnosis and only paranormal, which would you choose?
Well, I just want to grow, so it's not either one of those. It's the idea of evolving and growing and helping people and evolving.
Wouldn't that be awesome, though, if you could actually begin to actually do hypnosis on spirits from the other side? I know it's a crazy thought, but like we communicate with them. I know it's a crazy thought, Dr. Woodard, but I think, because I'm a paranormal investigator.
My idea, see, in my book, many times I mention that I dehypnotize people, so I don't think hypnosis is what a lot of people think it is. I think it's like teaching people to, like I told you, take control of their own awareness.
Right.
And be in control, not the opposite.
So how do you begin to dehypnotize people from such...
Well, my goal would be, if I was thinking what you were thinking about spirits, would be to communicate with them, to understand, to be more aware of things. That would be exciting to me. To control them, I do not wish to do.
No, but to be able to hypnotize a spirit from the other side and take them through and maybe get answers for why they are the way that they are and why they pass that way. That would give us a lot of answers. A lot of answers if you could do that.
Well, yeah, but I don't think I think hypnosis is really teaching people to take control of their own minds.
That's true. So, because I'm just saying, if you're down for trying that, I'm a paranormal investigator. I'll get us into Lizzie Borden's, and you can give her a nice, good hypnosis session. And we can find out who. Yeah, we can literally find out who was the actual killer, or who Lizzie thought was the actual killer, who she perceived to be the killer, right? If we were going to put her under hypnosis.
If she even knew.
That's right, if she did.
Even knew.
That's true, because in her perception, she only knows about the accusation and the arrest and the trial, but we wonder if she really does know who did it or not. I don't know. See, that would be something you could hypnotize her and find out. I don't see why hypnotizing a spirit could be impossible.
Well, there's two things, like in greater consciousness, if there's something more than us, if all time exists, then it's recorded anyway in time. It's there. It just needs to be tapped. And then the other thing is, she can only be aware of what she was aware of. If she wasn't aware of it, she can't be aware of it.
So there would be nothing we could draw out of her under hypnosis in that case, right?
Right. If she didn't know, she doesn't know, then she can't know.
So,
but if there's also time, if time is like, I remember reading an article once that said the past, present, and future are all simultaneously happening. If that's the case, then there is the timeline. If you can tap the timeline, then you can figure out that, and that's a big thing that, a lot of people wish they could do.
I would take you on a paranormal investigation, though, honestly, and I would put you in charge of communicating with the ghosts, putting them under hypnosis, making sure they stopped smoking and lost weight, and gave us all the answers we wanted. If I put you on my paranormal team, Dr. Woodard, that would be your marching orders. Get that ghost to open up and tell us what's really going on. Wouldn't that be fun, though? if that was an actual possibility?
I wouldn't hypnotize a ghost.
So what would you do if you actually had that opportunity? A what if type of situation.
Think about that.
See, I know. I think of the oddest questions, Dr. Woodard. I literally think of the oddest questions because I think of. I mean, I've been on a lot of paranormal investigations where people say and they want to communicate with the spirits, but I think it's fascinating to have someone to know what are the right questions to ask. And I feel like with your knowledge, you would have the right answers and the right questions to ask, if that makes sense. I think you could.
It also requires it's an exchange, so I can't get anything from something that doesn't have the knowledge to give it.
Right. Right. That's right. They could only give us what they knew. That's true. That's right. Okay. Darn it! I was trying to crack the whole Lizzie Borden murder with you, Dr. Woodard. It's not happening.
It wasn't Lizzie.
Yeah, I don't believe it was Lizzie
No.
either. But I think it's interesting though about us having the ability nowadays though to perform something like what you're talking about. And I understand that you take people through the mindfulness, the meditation, you de-hypnotize them, as you know, and take them to a part where they can literally expand through hypnosis from there on. Where does that whole this is the scary thing, the stigmata. Where in the book, the stigmata in your book kind of scary. Could you take us through that part of your book where you talk about the understanding of that?
The stigmata in my book is I researched the idea of the mind affecting the body.
Right.
And I see the stigmata as an example of how the mind can affect the body. I mean, there are people that have healed themselves, and there are people that have recovered from things. I haven't personally explored all that in detail in one person, but I realize that is a great example of how the power of the mind can affect the body.
Absolutely.
And the stigmatas have been going on forever, and so the last one I think was a woman. It was a black woman in California who was a Baptist, and she was bleeding in class.
Oh my God.
And in her classroom, and they saw that, and it was legit. It was not fake. And there's cases, and the first official one was supposed to be St. Francis himself.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
And yes, and so and there was a famous guy who I was very interested in, Padre Pio from Italy, and he was a stigmatic.
Oh, I've heard of him. Yes, Padre Pio. Yes, I heard of him. I've heard of Padre Pio.
It's very interesting because what I see is the connection between the body and the mind, the spirit and the mind, or the body and the mind.
So
that's why I was exploring that to make that connection.
So as we know, people who are believers, stigmata is real, whether it's our belief or the person who's experiencing it. Relief. What was I going to say? That's what they're thinking. They believe. No, here's my other question. Did they believe they were a stigmata before they were a stigmata?
Well, that would be according to the church's version. It's that they have the empathy for the suffering of Jesus.
So, do they know that this is a special occurrence?
Experience it.
Do they know that it's do they know it's a special occurrence? That's something that's affecting them. People who have stigmata, is it something that they're even aware of until it's actually happening to them? Is there any warning signs?
I haven't. I looked at it as an aspect of body-mind connection, and I researched it. I haven't personally been involved with anybody that had it, so. But there's research and doctors that did explore it, and I was checking out that research and including it in my book as an aspect.
I found that interesting.
An aspect of it.
Yes.
I find it interesting too, in that there's some connection between the body and the mind.
Something that's making these happen because their belief is so strong that it's making their body believe it. That's what I think in my research. But now, I love this I gotta read here what you say about the signs of ghosts. Just for those of you who haven't read the book, I really love your signs of ghost activity, because you do a lot of work with paranormal and psychology hand in hand. So you have here signs of ghosts: moving shadows, formless lights, hearing your name called, which actually happened to me yesterday, believe it or not, hearing footsteps or knocking on doors or walls, doors opening by themselves, the smell of food, tobacco, perfume, flowers, and something burning, etc. Feelings that you are being watched or that you are not alone. Light bulbs that are flashing on and off. Telephones ringing with strange synchronistic messages. I have experienced that. Doors being locked or unlocked in ways that remain unaccountable. And items disappearing and then reappearing. Believe it or not, Dr. Wood, I get questions like this on the regular, every week. Not a baloney. I get questions like about these certain things every single week. So, how much of it is actually the person's mind, or is it my mind? If I tell them about an experience, is it just my mind?
The thing is, those are the common phenomena that people talk about when they talk about experiencing a ghost. To answer whether it's in their mind or it's real, that's an individual case-by-case situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, genuine things, and then there's things that aren't that people are wishing for.
So do you think like honestly, yesterday, Dr. Woodard, I was walking up my stairs, I heard my name being called. It sounded like it came from my landlord. But I didn't find anything odd of the situation. I just kind of brushed it off and came upstairs. But I also thought, okay, the veil is thinning. There's going to be spirit communication. But then I'm like, did I really hear it? What did I really hear? What does my mind say that I heard? How do I separate myself?
Well, it's the hard thing to identify that. To identify that's difficult because, what's the possibilities and then what actually took place. I had a spirit box one time, and I've done some investigating, and I had a spirit box, and when I first got it, I put it in my living room, and I was reading, and I said, "What is my name?" And there was no answer. And then about 10 minutes later, it actually said my name.
Wow. Talk about synchronicity.
What are the chances? What are the chances that the scanner is going to scan through everything and just push out my name?
That's I know that's
my first name.
That is amazing, Frederick. Right? It's not like it's Bob or Joe or Bill or it's Frederick. So
right, but those things don't happen all the time. We've used it, and I've used it many times with a couple of people on investigations. It's hard to even understand what was being said. You can't even clearly hear the garbled stuff that comes through, and so a lot of times nothing happens, or there's no clear message. But what is the answer? I don't know, and I the technology behind that, I don't even understand that. So I'm not a technical expert to know. I know that it scans the stations, but what makes certain words come out?
Right, it's true. It's like what makes those words come out? Is it our mind? Is it? It's just so many unanswered questions.
People that are skeptics would say it's just chance, it's just coincidence. But the funny thing was, there weren't many other things that were said. I was reading, and then to have my name, what are the chances? I've never heard my name since, before or after, and all the different things we've done.
Right, that's true, absolutely, and it's amazing.
But I don't. It's like your question about your name. Where did that come from? I don't know. I mean, is it possible somebody drove by or was walking by and said your name and it had nothing to do with you? That's possible.
That's possible, yes.
Well, Michelle is a pretty common name.
Yeah, Michelle is a pretty common name, yeah. It just wasn't be...
Then, maybe it's something more significant, but how do you know? I mean, I remember one time I had a person tell me that my uncle who died in the war was protecting me, and I walked into a store to buy a soda, and when I was a kid, my grandfather collected coins, and so the World War II nickels have a big P on the back of them, and they're part silver and they're part nickel, and they're rare. And you couldn't even get one if you tried. and I went in to buy a soda, and in my change was a World War II nickel.
Oh.
And I said, well, maybe I ought to not make a judgment here and just be open-minded. It's not proof that my uncle exists, but it was pretty weird how coincidental that was. It was coincidence.
That's pretty amazing, though. Now, like, if I now say you, for an example, I heard this happen to me yesterday. If you were to put me under hypnosis, would I perhaps envision something different than what really happened? Could I have seen things?
You could.
So what would be my actual perception? What I perceive it? Would my perception be what I'm perceiving now?
The problem, for example, you cannot use hypnosis as in a court of law because people can fantasize stuff. It's not you can't have regress yourself to something, remember it, and it be used in court because people can make stuff up in their minds.
So that's why the hypnosis cannot be 100% in the court system then.
Right.
Because of people's
Right.
perception. Right, and like you say,
Right.
three
And
people...
so-
Go ahead.
It's just like perception in everyday life. People, that they've proven that a number of people witness something and a bunch of people see different stuff.
So how
Stuff
would...
that didn't happen, see stuff that did.
How do you determine then if it's real or if somebody's literally going into like some psychotic episode? How do you determine that? How do you determine?
Well, that's a healthcare issue. I mean, if somebody's psychotic, there's other things that happen. And
It's not like a Michael Myers kind of situation? Dr. Woodard, not Michael Myers? Or Jason Voorhees kind of situation? Michael Myers?
no. It's when someone's psychotic, they usually are out of touch with reality too. So other things come up, and you can kind of see that. The person themselves don't always see that. But
And at that state of mind...
That's something you need. When a person's in that state, they need they need mental health support.
Right. But what if they really are experiencing this? What if they believe they're experiencing paranormal occurrences, and that is why they're acting out the way they are? What if?
Well, some people do and they're not. Some people that are psychotic think they are and they're not. But then, there's other people that are pretty stable and they're experiencing something and it doesn't have any negative impact on their lives or anyone else's. That's different.
That's true. That's true. It's just very amazing. It's amazing to me. I can't thank you enough for coming on our show today. I actually wanted to ask you a favor while I have you on air. I loved very much the exercises that you have in your book. Would you be opposed to us using some of your self-help exercises for our listeners at times? We do Healing Sundays, is why I was asking.
Well, I'd rather have them just get the book and use the book.
With of course, with everyone having their copies of the book, because I can't read a book to everybody. So they're going to have to use the exercises that are in the book, and there is exercises, guys, on every single chapter in his book that takes you through each and every chapter. Very nicely. It gives you the points that you need to learn in that chapter. It gives you an exercise to help you work that out that goes along with the chapter you have just read. So it helps you to literally learn to pretty much perceive what your reality is and how your hypnosis would be under your own perceptions of life. And these exercises are awesome, guys. So I would love for you guys, everyone's going to get their hands on this book, and we're going to have to do a Healing Sunday on these exercises in the back and get us to know ourselves better and what we perceive ourselves to be and how much better we can be perceiving ourselves. If that made any sense. What do you think, Dr. Woodard?
Again, the theme is taking control of your own mind and seeing more clearly, working on seeing more clearly, not always hypnosis, but seeing more clearly in life,
consciousness. So work on our mindfulness, work on our meditations, get the book, work on Dr. Woodard's exercises that are on this book. It's very interesting. The book takes you through 2 hours. Wouldn't it be enough to take everybody by chapter, but the book is amazingly interesting, guys. male, female, I don't care who you are, Joe Schmo, this book will literally be very useful to you. It's a very great read.
So why don't you tell everybody how to get a hold of your book?
Right. Tell us about the details for you, Dr. Woodard. How can somebody get a hold of your book and get a hold of you?
It's available at Schiffer Publishing, and it's also available at Amazon.com. You can get a link to those on my homepage on Woodard Hypnosis and Psychotherapy.org.
Awesome.
Or you can just look it up on Amazon. But it also comes out in other bookstores. You can get it at your local bookstore. You can get it online at other places too. I think Walmart and Target sell it.
Awesome.
And I know Walmart does. I'm not sure about Target, but
I think
there's a couple of other places that sell it.
I thank you very much, though, for giving us your copy. It's in a place of honor. We thank you very much for your signing your autograph for us. So someday when you're on Oprah or you're on Ellen or anything like that for your hypnosis, we'll be like, hey, we have our copy of Perceptual Hypnosis signed by Dr. Frederick Woodard. Just so you know. But that's how we'll be thinking. And any last questions in the chat room, Sue?
Nope.
They're saying book club with your book. Book club, book club, book club. So we're going to have to keep you posted about that book club, Dr. Woodard.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being a guest tonight, and thank you for taking time out and explaining what was going on.
Our pleasure.
You're welcome. And okay, a couple announcements here, guys. You know, you can't see me right now, but you can still hear me. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 to 10, we are talking, again, positive counseling.
Positivity.
And we're going to be focusing more on being non-judgmental.
All right, non-judgmental,
Right.
how we
And-
perceive ourselves to be non-judgmental.
No. We're going to actually, on the first half of the show, when I'm doing a little bit of counseling for you guys, where we're going to learn to open up our ears to learn to listen to everybody is what we're going to be doing.
Oh.
So we're going to be working a little bit on our listening skills, because I think sometimes individuals don't really take the time to really listen, and I think everybody has the right to their own point of view, so we're going to work a little bit on our positive listening skills.
Positive listening skills.
All right, and then of
tomorrow.
course Miss Love over here is going to take it over there, and don't forget, Sunday is Healing Sundays at the regular time this Sunday.
Yep,
So nope, is that the 13th?
that is the
The
13th.
20th.
Yes,
Oh, yep, sorry guys. Healing Sunday is actually going to be on Saturday.
yes.
Or early in the morning Sunday. I will keep you guys posted and let
Yeah.
you know. We'll find out. We are going to be on Aquarium Radio from 8 to 10.
8 to 10 p.m.
8
on
to 10.
Sunday.
We're going to be on Aquarium Radio. I'll find out all the details in order to be able to share that with you guys. So we have to move. We have
Our
to move
Sundays.
Healing Sunday, so it's possibly going to be a little earlier before the show. We'll let you know on that. And don't forget, this month's giveaway is the beautiful, gorgeous amethyst runes.
Amethyst runes are your
Yep,
monthly
and
giveaway, Mom.
also your spotted jasper crystal necklace.
Right, and
They
there's
call
a
it
heart-shaped-
Dalmatian jasper. It's heart-shaped.
Heart-shaped.
What it is, it's the jasper with bits of tourmaline in it. And tourmaline is really, really good for protection. So definitely that's going to help you out. That's this month's giveaway. And I'll say to you guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And remember, peace out.
Peace
We love
out.
you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Everybody get your copies of Perceptual Hypnosis. Dr. Frederick Woodard.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.